Rep. Angie Craig's remarks on the House Agriculture Committee shine a harsh light on a crisis too many Americans are experiencing right now: the struggle to put food on the table during one of the worst affordability crises in recent memory. What makes her argument so compelling is how she connects policy choices directly to human consequences. This isn't abstract economics. These are 42 million Americans, including 16 million children, whose ability to eat is being directly threatened by federal action.
Thank you so much, Senator Lujan, for bringing us all here today on a bicameral basis. The $187 billion cut to SNAP benefits that my colleagues describe are absolutely staggering. And make no mistake about it, the entire intention of those cuts is to kick people off the program and to shift those costs to the states, which Minnesotans are starting to understand is going to increase their property taxes. Because in 10 states across this country, it's the counties who have to fund both the administrative and the actual cost of SNAP. The paperwork, the red tape, the hoops that Republicans want to make hungry families and seniors jump through just to secure $2 to help cover the cost of a meal during one of the greatest affordability crises in our country as it relates to food cost is absolutely egregious. By cutting the heart out of SNAP, that wasn't good enough for President Trump or his administration. And that is truly terrifying, truly horrifying, and frankly, it pisses me the hell off. If I see Secretary Rollins one more time on TV, creating more anxiety for poor Americans when they are helped by $6.20 at a time when no one can afford their groceries. Just think about what Americans are about to experience over the Thanksgiving holidays as they go to their local grocery store to try to put the family Thanksgiving meal together. At the same time, they're opening their portal on their healthcare account and looking at their healthcare premiums going up dramatically. During the longest government shutdown in history, President Trump and Secretary Rollins chose to illegally withhold food assistance from 42 million Americans, including 16 million children. Think about what kind of heartless person you would have to be to withhold food from 16 million children. Our community stepped forward to try to close just a little bit of that gap, but it's absolutely disgusting, and they show for sure who they are. At the same time, Secretary Rollins goes on TV and talks about all the fraud. Folks, this most effective anti-hunger program in our history has a fraud rate of 1.6%. It's actually one of the most effective, well-run programs in the country. And by the way, folks, guess who runs it? Our states. Our states run it. And when they make mistakes in error rates, you know what happens? They have to pay a fine and create revenue to the federal government. You know what else? There are already work requirements in SNAP. The bullshit this administration is peddling is egregious. When congressional Democrats, 26 attorneys general, and 2 federal courts said they needed to help feed America, the Trump administration appealed it all the way to the Supreme Court. Now, Secretary Rollins has launched a national propaganda campaign. And I'm telling you this, I'm fighting her propaganda every step of the way. And I'm warning my Republican colleagues, if you bring your propaganda to the Ag Committee, when we start getting back on the House side, every single lie that you tell while your mouth is moving, I am going to call it out. We need Republicans to show just a little bit of compassion. If not for people, how about the affordability crisis in this country? How about they realize that their own constituents can't afford their grocery costs? They can't afford their health care costs. We need to make sure that America's hungry can afford food. Thank you.
The Trump administration's approach to SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, has been to slash funding by $187 billion, effectively making it harder for people to access benefits and shifting costs onto state governments. Craig points out that in many states, it's counties that must cover administrative costs when these federal funds are cut. That isn't just a bureaucratic headache, it's a tax increase on ordinary citizens and families already stretched thin. It's a classic example of policy that prioritizes political optics over human well-being. Craig also calls out the administration's propaganda and misinformation campaign, highlighting the stark contrast between perception and reality. Secretary Rollins has repeatedly pointed to fraud in SNAP, but the program's actual error rate is a mere 1.6%, a testament to its efficiency and oversight. This demonstrates that the real failure isn't on the part of program participants or states, it's in the political manipulation aimed at scapegoating vulnerable populations to justify drastic cuts. Craig's insistence on calling out lies in real time emphasizes the importance of holding public officials accountable for rhetoric that has life or death consequences. Another critical point Craig makes is the moral dimension of these cuts. With 16 million children affected, withholding food assistance isn't just bad policy, it's ethically indefensible. And it's not as though the program lacks accountability. There are already work requirements and safeguards in place. The administration's additional restrictions are unnecessary and cruel, especially when families are simultaneously struggling with rising healthcare premiums and inflation-driven grocery costs. From a broader perspective, Craig's commentary illustrates the vital role of Congress in safeguarding Americans' basic needs. Programs like SNAP are proven, effective, and efficiently managed at the state level. Cutting them not only harms families immediately, but destabilizes local economies and communities. Every dollar of SNAP benefits stimulates local spending on groceries, supports jobs in the food supply chain, and reduces pressure on other social services. Finally, Craig frames this issue in terms of political responsibility. She's calling on Republicans not just to consider the human cost, but also to recognize the broader societal implications. Affordability crises don't discriminate. Even constituents who vote Republican are facing skyrocketing costs at the grocery store and pharmacy. Compassion, accountability, and evidence-based policymaking are not partisan. They're necessary for a functioning society. Her warning is clear. Propaganda and misinformation will be called out, and inaction in the face of suffering is a political and moral failure. SNAP cuts aren't numbers on a ledger. They're families skipping meals, children going hungry, and seniors facing impossible choices. This speak reminds us that public policy must protect people first, not budgets or political agendas. If we care about fairness, justice, and basic human dignity, we need to ensure programs like SNAP are fully funded, accessible, and respected. Craig's message isn't just for policymakers. It's a call to the American people to pay attention, demand accountability, and insist that hunger never be treated as a political chess piece.